You have to be careful because when I get a microphone in front of me, sometimes I want to sing. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you on this beautiful rainy night in our rainforest to our traditional territories upon which was mentioned the university is built, place of knowledge and learning. But that branches out not only to the university, but to think about the people who lived here before the university was built. What was their knowledge? How did they educate themselves, or did they? Because they didn't speak English and they didn't write the same way we write today, we were deemed uneducated. But I am here to argue the point that there are many ways of learning. We now understand that. We now have to retract some of the vicious things that have been said about Indigenous people around the world. Not a nice word, but it's true, because we live it. When we talk about refugees, sometimes we feel like refugees in our own land. So we understand fully what it is to feel like sometimes to be a refugee. I think the government has a lot of work to do yet to find that place in understanding, if we ever even do. We're working at it, we work towards it. All of you in this room will work towards how you embrace the idea of what we as people do with each other when we arrive in a different country. Do we take on the ways of the people, or do we maintain our own and have a place to share that? This is a hard situation, but we are welcoming people. We have welcomed the first ship that arrived here, Captain Vancouver, when he idled past our villages, when he honored us and arrived on the shore not far from Stanley Park across the Capilano River. He writes, his mapmaker wrote, that these people are welcoming, and as we land and we meet them, he noted that the women were as beautiful and as regal as his own. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that people here could be as beautiful as his own. I find that interesting, but you know, he was a new person arriving here in a land which was abundant with many, many, many future economic that would pull people back towards this country forever. And those resources and those ways in which our people lived were never really shared. And it's hard for us as First Nations people to be in the situations we are, but we're working towards that. And that's the most important thing, is that we're always working towards that common ground. My gosh, it sounds so romantic, but it's a tough job. It's tough to be on a common ground when you haven't even worked out your own problems. So on behalf of my chief, Wayne Sparrow, who, yes, is my younger brother, we have the same name, he's not my husband. And he's chief because I taught him everything he knows. Well, he's running for chief again. He might be walking. But we have our nominations in now, and at the end of this month, in November, we too will be voting for a new chief. And we have changed our policy now that our chief now holds his position for not 2 years, but 4. So my young grandson, who's 16, on the way to school this morning said, "Grandma, why don't you ever run for council?" And I said, well, you know, I've thought about it, but now it's a little bit too late.